Yeah, we will start, sir. All of you know our course title is Azure Data Engineer. Sir, please tell me, and how many people are here already with cloud platforms and Azure platform? And who are new to the Azure platform? So please interact with me. Parashuram?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm completely new for this.
Okay. So you are new to this Azure platform, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Preeti?
I am new to Azure platform, but now I just got a project,
Okay.
Azure project. So I'm trying to learn, simultaneously work on it.
Okay, very good. Yeah. And Naga Monica? Srinjit? Srinjit Das?
The vendor organization is helping in migrating the database and schema to
Okay.
Azure platform.
Okay.
So I thought of taking up this course.
Okay. So finally, you're also new to this platform, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And Teja?
I'm new to the platform.
Okay, very good. No problem. So already you people know the products of Azure Data Engineer. May I know the list of the Azure Data Engineer products? To support data engineer products, we have different products here. Especially for the storage, what we have here, Azure Data Lake. And this is a biggest file system and use it for unlimited storage. And also other advantage with this data lake is supports all varieties. All varieties of data. And one more thing, all formats of data. That means all formats of files it will support. So this is one of the important thing where you can keep unlimited storage data. So generally most of organizations have already reached petabyte scale or exabyte scale. Okay. So even Microsoft says that Azure Data Lake will support even zettabytes, but no proof till now. Okay. So this is one of the important things where we keep our data into this. And finally, you should know the techniques how to process that one. But one thing for OLTP database, online transaction processing, the replacement for on-premise SQL server, here we have Azure SQL. Okay, but Azure SQL is not only for data engineering, general applications also can write and read from the Azure SQL. Okay, generally that is as a normal database server, but same normal database server in the cloud platform. That is Azure SQL. The next product for the warehouse environment, especially in Azure, you have a separate database here. Separate service is here. That is Azure Synapse. Azure Synapse Analytics. That means you can model and you can design your warehouse. At the same time, you can perform your analytics on the warehouse by running queries. Of course, here in Azure SQL, you will be using SQL. And finally, here also you will be using SQL only. Right? So simply the difference between Azure SQL and Azure Synapse. Azure SQL is for OLTP and this is for data warehouse. That means you can say OLAP. This is a DWH, the data warehouse environment in Azure platform. But how to bring the different sources of data and how to dump the data into Azure Data Lake or data warehouse. For that, one ETL activity is required. The ETL tool we need to perform. The ETL tool we use in Azure is Azure Data Factory. Simply, you can say it as a ADF, Azure Data Factory. And we have one more product here, which is a NoSQL database. The NoSQL database in Azure platform is Azure Cosmos. Azure Cosmos DB. If you talk about NoSQL, there are different varieties of NoSQL databases here, like a key value store. And second category, document store. Third category, graph store. And one more category, columnar store. This Azure Cosmos comes under this document category, document store category. So before stepping into the Cosmos DB, we take the fundamentals of the entire NoSQL, what are the different types, when to use what kind of database. So that knowledge you will be getting. But here one advantage, the ADF can interact with, so for the ADF, the sources can be, the data sources can be even files. And even RDBMS databases. And also it supports NoSQL connectivities also. We have different plugins to connect with NoSQL databases like MongoDB and Cosmos DB. But one thing remember, these NoSQL databases are used for OLTP only. Directly, which supports the end user transactions. Okay. And another important thing in Azure Data Engineering products, that is Databricks. Same Databricks environment in Azure, that is called Azure Databricks. Actually, this Databricks is available for even AWS and also for Google and also for some other platforms also. Even Databricks has its own platform for the Spark. So is a Spark environment here for big data processing. With high speed. So previously for the big data, Hadoop kind of systems are used, but Hadoop is an on-premise cluster. If you want that on-premise cluster in the cloud platform, that too especially into the Microsoft Azure, that is HD Insights. But in Hadoop, this is for the Hadoop, but in Hadoop you have a lot of ecosystems. You don't require all the ecosystems here. Only you need to connect with, you need to go connect and query with Hive database. Okay. So these are the major products into Azure Data Engineering. The first, you should know some basics of Azure SQL and Azure Data Lake, second product. And our warehouse environment is Azure Synapse Analytics. To perform the ETL activities, you have Azure Data Factory. And for NoSQL databases, here we have the type called document store, that is Cosmos DB. Okay, same thing in AWS also, one NoSQL database is there, that is a DynamoDB, Dynamo. And Azure Databricks, this is parallel computing system with in-memory computing features. So previously for big data, MapReduce was used for data processing. But when compared with MapReduce, the Spark kind of execution is very super faster. Even this is faster, 100 times faster than the previous MapReduce kind of styles. That's why here, if the volume is bigger, you keep the data into Azure Data Lake. Finally, you will be processing with Databricks. Okay, later at the time of dealing with the Azure Databricks, okay, how exactly the Spark architecture and how the Spark will process data faster. Okay, what are all the different components under Spark, under this subcomponents of the Spark we will discuss. And HD Insights means to say this is simply a Hadoop flavor in Microsoft Azure platform. But Hadoop has a lot of ecosystems. You don't need all the things. Only one ecosystem you need it. That is Hive. This Hive is similar to SQL only. Once you know the basics of SQL, you can enjoy all this stuff. Only the new thing to you is here. One is ADF, second one is Databricks. Okay. So of course, Cosmos DB is also new to you, but very easily you can learn it. So these are the basic products what you are going to learn into this course. And I need your interaction here. So you will be designated as a data engineer. Being a data engineer, what are your responsibilities? Even you can guess your responsibilities by seeing those products. What are the responsibilities of a data engineer? One of the base work is ETL roles. Especially in ETL role, you will be designing and creating data pipelines for the data flows for ETL transformations. So all of you might know what is ETL: extract, transform, and then loading. So connecting with the different sources of RDBMS and or other type of data sources, and extract data, perform transformations, and finally load into target database. So here target can be here of any database, like it can be even your warehouse environment, Azure Synapse, or if data is purely unstructured, like image, video, audio kind of stuff, then you can go with a data lake. So this is a first responsibility, the basic responsibility of a data engineer, which is ETL roles. And second thing is how to handling huge volumes of data. The techniques you should know. Okay, simply if the data volume, input data volume is a petabyte or multi terabytes, directly you can't connect and you can't dump into the target. So it's not like a regular process like how you go copy a file and paste into your target folder. It's not like that. Okay, so especially if data volumes are multi terabytes or petabytes, there are different techniques and how you are managing that storage. So being an engineer, this is also one of the responsibility for you, handling huge volumes of storage, especially for such kind of biggest volumes. Here you have a product called Azure Data Lake. Okay, so in Azure Data Lake, the old version is Azure Data Lake. So recent is Azure Data Lake Gen 2. So what are the benefits and features of Gen 2 we will be discussing later. So this is second work. And also you should know the techniques of how to process all varieties of data. The data can be unstructured, or it can be semi-structured. It can be structured. So generally by using SQL, we can process the structured data because data is already organized into rows and columns. Okay. If data is in semi-structured format, if data is in purely unstructured format. Got it. So how you will process the data, those techniques are important. Especially for processing of unstructured and semi-structured, here you have Databricks. Okay. So ADF also have this capabilities, but ADF is weaker, especially in the case of unstructured data processing. But ADF can better process semi-structured and also structured. So this is another responsibility for you. You should be master in processing of all varieties of data. So can you tell me some of the examples for unstructured data, sir? If you talk about unstructured, what are the different examples for the unstructured data? Sir, please.
Images, files, a JSON file.
Generally images, what you said is correct, but JSON comes under semi-structured.
Okay,
Okay.
just videos. Okay, yeah.
Images, audios, and even videos. Okay. So video, nothing but is a collection of frames. Again, each frame is a collection of images like that. Okay. So suppose your data to be used by the data scientists. Data scientists or artificial intelligence, your data has to be used by artificial intelligence engineers. So at that time, you will do complete pre-processing of those images, audios, and videos. You will perform a lot of pre-processing activities. So final pre-process, after completion of pre-processing, the matured data you will supply to data scientist or artificial intelligence engineer, and they will be running different data science models or artificial intelligence models. They will be running on top of that data. Okay. So here, especially the product ADF is not that much worthy for all these things. And also one more thing here, the text data with no patterns. So for this also, the ADF is weaker. Here you need to use Databricks. So what is the meaning of a text with no patterns? Anyone? Suppose if you talk about structured data is a, if it is structured data means is a text or numbers with patterns. Any data is with patterns, with some fixed patterns. Pattern means some fixed pattern. That is called structured data. For example, you take one CSV file, sir. Suppose if you take the example of RDBMS, the data is organized in the way of rows and columns format. So that means some fixed format. Always first column should be ID, second column should be name, third column should be something, fourth column should be city, like that. So what are the pattern you have for the first row, for second row also same pattern, third row also same pattern. Such kind of things are called structured data. The examples for this structured data is your Excel or CSV files, even RDBMS table data. That means database tables data. All these are examples of structured data. If it is data is structured, you can take help of ADF. Okay. But the thing is here, even though my data is text with no fixed patterns, I am saying. Okay. What is the meaning of text with no fixed patterns? One simple example I will give you. Suppose I am talking about customer reviews. Customer reviews or comments. Suppose you are running a restaurant, your customers are commenting like this. For example, user one is commenting, taste is good, but quantity is less. Observe this. This is a comment. Okay, comment by the user or review by the user. Got it? Among lakhs of customers, just one customer quoted like this. If you come to the second one, so here is good, but smell is bad. This is second customer comment. End of the day, you want to perform some sentimental related analytics. Like this, I need a report. How many customers are positive? How many customers are negative? And finally, I want to visualize this data. That most of customers are talking about which quality of the product. Most of the customers are talking about quantity, or they are talking about taste, or they are talking about smell, or they are talking about spiciness. Like that, I want to analyze. Okay, in this moment, if you want to perform ETL kind of activities for such kind of things, in order to generate such kind of reports, you have to use NLP kind of techniques. But there is no a particular fixed module for the NLP here. In Databricks, you can use NLP. Already I told you same Databricks in Azure platform, that is Azure Databricks. In Azure Databricks, you have different components for the processing of the data. Those are, one is core, Spark core. Second thing is Spark SQL. Next thing is Spark streaming. Next thing is Spark GraphX, which is about graph data. So by seeing the components of all these things, so you can see the power of Azure Databricks. Okay. And also one more, the important thing is the Spark machine learning library, MLlib. So from this data, to convert this text data into numerical features, that means to make this data as structure, you need NLP. The NLP can be used in Spark machine learning libraries. To work with this, you need not to learn entire machine learning. Only if you know what is the purpose of the machine learning, then you can use all the libraries like NLP libraries, machine learning related libraries, all the libraries you can use into the Spark. Okay. So that is the meaning of the point here, text with no patterns. So here, why I said text with no patterns means, again, if you take the like third user comment can be completely different. Okay, again, fourth user, that is completely different. There is no fixed format, fixed pattern for customer comment. Got it. So that is what unstructured data. And semi-structured data means, what are the examples of semi-structured?
XML.
XML, JSON.
Yes.
These are the major things as part of this semi-structured. Okay. Even if you talk about no SQL databases, the backend storage will be with JSON only. Because of that JSON facility, record to record different structures can be maintained into the NoSQL databases. So more details about the NoSQL in later concepts we will be discussing. So still we are talking about what only? What are the roles and responsibilities of data engineer? Basic roles are ETL roles. Again, you can subdivide these ETL roles into many types. Okay, so in a high level we are talking now. Observe this one, handling huge volumes of storage, point number one, and how, even though big volume, how to process different varieties of data. That is another challenge for the data engineer. And one more responsibility here as a data engineer, handling data streams. You can say it as a streaming data. That means basically with ADF, you are designing pipelines for the ETL roles. But same kind of pipelines, I want to create it for the streaming data. So what is the difference between normal data, or that means the static data, and streaming data? Anyone, please?
Continuous flow of data.
Continuous flow of data, that's it. Example for the streaming data?
Kafka.
Twitter data.
Kafka is the
You can
ecosystem. Kafka is the ecosystem for that. Okay, Kafka is completely distributed, parallelized streaming processing system. General example, data example I am talking, not the system. You can say tweets of Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, yes.
Facebook, that means social media tweets simply. Then suppose if you fix a cam in your room, sir, in your office or room, what the cam is doing, sir? Some CC cam you fixed in our office. The cam is keep collecting the data and dumping the data into some storage. In this moment, if you check if the volume is 10 GB, after 1 hour, the volume will be maybe 200 GB. Again, by night, the volume might be even, it may reach terabyte also. So this is what a continuous flow of data. Got it? So regular ETL processes can touch with static data. So static data means that now if I downloaded one file, if the file volume is 1 GB, after 1 hour also the file size is 1 GB. Okay. Tomorrow also the file size is 1 GB. Got it? So that means at the time of working with that particular file source, there is no data is keep producing into that file. But if you talk about stream, the data is keep flowing second to second. So within a second, you can observe a lot of difference, a lot much of volume difference. So such kind of data is called streaming data. For streaming, in Azure, you have one beautiful product called Azure Streaming. Previously, I forgot to write it. Okay. So the tweets, even if you talk about logs also comes under streaming data. Okay. Suppose if you perform some database operations in the backend, logs will be keep generating. Those logs are called database logs. Again, you are maintaining some application server is keep producing application logs. Suppose if it is web application, web logs. Okay. So that means the examples for these logs is web logs or database logs, application logs. It can be of anything. One more important examples, IoT. What is IoT? Internet of Things. Okay, especially to connect with sensors and to extract data from to keep collect the streams of these sensors data. Okay, so for that also, so that kind of data is also called as streaming data. So generally, the popular system nowadays is Kafka for this. Okay, is a streaming system, streaming and messaging system. But in case of Azure, the replacement for this Kafka is Azure Streaming, like this. It's in AZ platform, that's it. So Kafka is Apache product, Azure Streaming is Microsoft product, that too into the cloud, right? So all of you be clear. Being a data engineer, suppose I am a data engineer. If I am a junior data engineer, my role will be with only ETL roles. But if you are trying as a senior data engineer, okay, you will have to know about other responsibilities, other important responsibilities, handling the storages and processing those that kind of biggest volumes of data, and how to process different varieties of data you should know, and data streams also you should handle it. So finally, you will have to create data pipelines for the streaming. So here Azure Streaming is supporting like it supports the streaming and it supports messaging. That means it's acting as a messaging system also. And also it can perform micro batches. So what is the meaning of micro batches? Hello, anyone, sir?
For particular interval.
Yeah, particular interval, that too the interval is very, very teeny piece. Teeny piece in the sense seconds. Okay, so suppose for every 20 seconds or for every 30 seconds, we need some process. Example, for every 30 seconds, how many customers, how many users. So example here, example for micro batch, or you can say even mini batch also. For every 30 seconds, how many users are watching a particular product. From website or portal, whatever it may be, like this. Understood, all of you? Suppose in what way this kind of analysis will be used for me? What is the input? So I want to understand this one, sir. I want to understand this one. What is the input for this? Simply the client requirement is this one. Suppose you are running your online shopping business. You are selling some 100 products. You are selling 100 products. So different customers from different places, the customers are entering into your organization. That means opening your website and they are watching, they are checking the details of different products. You need one analysis for every 30 seconds, how many users are watching a particular product or all the products. So if I want to perform this kind of, if I want to analyze this kind of data, if I want to process that kind of data, means what will be the input data source for this, for my question? Anyone please try?
Any website shopping for Amazon or Flipkart.
Okay, think that your website is Flipkart. Your website is Flipkart or Amazon. It can be anything, or your own site. To perform this analysis, where my required data will be. Because if I open your website, there is no guarantee that I will sign up. Even I don't say I like this product, I don't like this product. As a customer, I don't say anything. Simply I open our website, I check the details of some particular product and going back. So whenever you open a site, immediately one log record will be created, that is web log. Understood? If I open a particular page, again one more web log record will be created. At what time, from which place, I have opened which page. So within a page, again multiple links will be there. What other link I have opened. If I open a particular link, how much time I spent on that particular page, all that information will be available in weblogs. Weblogs is a streaming data. As users are interacting with your web application, so weblogs will be keep generating. Those streams I will capture by using Azure Streaming. Okay, and I will perform micro batch operation. At the time of preparing these micro batches, I can decide my time. For every 30 seconds I need, or for every 10 seconds I need, I can decide. Understood? So this is one of the important activity based on this one. So nowadays, how your YouTube or how your Amazon is understanding your tastes and interests. Based on this web analytics only. So this based on this web logs. For small organizations, you need not to use this Azure Stream. Because if there is a small organization, max to max daily 100 users will be there. 100 users are interacting with that application. But how many users daily will be interacting with Facebook or Twitter or Amazon or Flipkart, the two worldwide? Okay. Within a second, generally the Facebook transactional frequency is like this. For every 10 seconds, the frequency of the frequency of the user interaction is the 3 trillion. Don't ask me how many zeros per the trillion. Understood? For every 10 seconds means per minute how many? Per hour how many? Per day how many? So how Facebook is maintaining all these things? How Facebook is understanding you without manual interaction with you, Facebook is understanding you. Understood. LinkedIn is understanding you. Even Amazon is understanding your taste and preferences. Amazon is building recommendation systems for you. Today, if you verify one product or if you purchase one product, then what might be the next product that you will purchase, Amazon is deciding. Mostly Amazon prediction is almost correct. Out of 10 predictions, 5 users are purchasing that next product. So all these things will be done based on the weblogs and by performing mini and also biggest batches. Okay. So generally batch means per day or per hour, that is called a batch. But when you minimize that time, like 10 seconds or 20 seconds, 30 seconds, that is called mini batch. All of you understood all these techniques. So these are the major works being a data engineer. So same data engineer in Azure, that is called Azure Data Engineer. Okay. And the techniques how to process big data. With high speed. All of you understood, sir?
So is there a way to store this string data? Like we have Apache Storm. So for that particular interval, it can be stored, or like in same like micro batch, right?
Similar to Kafka. Okay. Similar to Storm. But here, if you talk about Kafka versus the Storm, here you are using Storm for micro batching. You can perform micro batch. Okay. If it is Kafka, this is streaming and messaging system. Now, please look at Azure streaming. What are there? Please look at the services of Azure streaming. Now you can compare. We have streaming and messaging at the same time. We have micro batching. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. Because Kafka can capture the streams, can capture the can keep hold of all the messages. That means events written by other applications, those are called messages. But Kafka will not process those things. To process, you need again Spark or Storm or some other thing. Suppose if you talk about Spark, in Spark we have Spark streaming again. So that means Kafka independently can't handle these micro batches. Kafka needs additional support, either Storm or Spark. But in Azure streaming, a single product will perform all the responsibilities. Understood this one, sir? So whenever we came, when you came to Azure streaming, you need not worry about Kafka and Storm. Yeah. Sir, your questions, please, till now. So got the difference between a general ETL developer and data engineer. Nowadays, sir, most of ETL developers are changing their designations as data engineer. Most of ETL developers are changing their designation as data engineer, but they are partially performing the ETL roles, but not a complete roles. Of course, tomorrow, if you enter into the industry, in the beginning, you will be performing only ETL roles only. But if you are a senior, you will have to perform other kind of activities. So you are most welcome to ask me questions. What are the popular ETL tools in the market? Informatica.
Data Stage,
Informatica, Data Stage.
Ablisho, Talent.
Yes. Talend is latest, recent. Not recent means 5 years back only it was available. Talend, even Pentaho.
SSIS.
Microsoft means Microsoft previously SSIS. Now this SSIS. So in case of Azure, this is on-premise, you can say. This SSIS is on-premise for Microsoft, you can say. But for the cloud, in the cloud, you have ADF. You will be working with ADF. Okay, Azure Data Factory. What are the benefits with ADF when compared with other ETL tools is can connect with any type of the source. Except unstructured data, it can process all remaining all varieties of data. That too very easy to design the pipelines. Even in some cases, if you need any custom functionalities, ADF is allowing you to write your scripts in Python and also in JavaScript. Okay. Suppose already I told you example. Unstructured data capabilities handling, this ADF is not having that one. For example, I have taken one example of customer reviews. Look at this. Look at these examples. This is the input source. What ADF can do here? ADF can extract this kind of thing, but ADF cannot understand the sentiment of the user. So this is the limitation of the ADF. At that time, you can write your Python script, which can use NLP. Understood, all of you? Okay. One more question for you from my side, because you are not asking questions. That's why I only ask the questions. ADF purpose, you know. Databricks, Azure Databricks purpose, you know. ADB, simply called as ADB. I write it to a complete Azure Databricks. Come on, when to use what? My question is when to use, what is the purpose? I am not asking when to use what. Come on, sir, please.
When the volume of data is very huge, we can use PySpark on top of that cluster because it is 100 times faster than MapReduce program.
Yes. That means huge volume of data. Okay. Huge volume. So this is one answer. Second. This is one. Suppose even though my volume is small, still in some cases I will use Azure Databricks, especially if I want to process this unstructured data, I need to use NLP kind of stuffs. Okay, that means to process with NLP. Okay, especially to process with NLP in PySpark, you have MLlib. Got it? Machine learning library. Even the small volume, I will use this Databricks. Huge volume, without second thought, I will use only Databricks. But if it is small volume, if data is structured to perform my transformations, I can go with ADF. But if data is unstructured, to perform special algorithms, machine learning related algorithms, to run machine learning related algorithms on my data, I will use Databricks. All of you understand this? Still other reasons I want. Major comparison here, sir. All of you attend this. There are two types of processes, ETL and ELT. ETL and ELT. Already you know the full forms. Extract, then transform, then loading into target. If you talk about ELT, reverse it. First step is common, extract and load and then transfer. Especially for the first case. For the first case, we will be using ADF. For the second case, we will be using Databricks. Come on, this is my side answer. Please tell me from your side why. So for ETL, why you go for ADF? For ELT, why you go for Databricks? These are the major two weapons for you, sir, being a data engineer in Azure platform. ADF developer will take Databricks developer help, and Databricks developer is taking help of ADF again. Suppose nowadays industry needs full stack, you should know all the activities of a data engineer. You are a data engineer means you are a full stack data engineer. If you are readily like that, industry is ready to take you. Come on, please come to my question. Why for ETL ADF? Why for ELT Databricks?
Because structured and unstructured differences.
Think that my data is only structured. I don't have unstructured data in my organization. I am running with only structured data.
The transformation time taken will be more
Yeah.
in ETL. Actually.
Yeah, actually, when you talk about the same, already indirectly you have delivered your answer. Okay. For example, input volume is suppose 10 terabyte of data set. Input volume is 10 terabyte of data. If you extract it, only extraction will take a lot of time in the ETL. Okay. Of course, extract button is common. That depends on the source capacity. But to perform the transformations on 10 terabyte of volume means if ADF executed that query, executed that transformation, it may take days time. Maybe it may take 2 days time or 3 days time. But instead of doing like that, extract data, dump your data into data lake. After that, perform your transformation by using Databricks. Whatever the ADF will process in 2 or 3 days, Databricks will process it in minutes time. Understood this? Because Databricks is a very much powerful parallel computing system with in-memory computing feature. Understood? So that's why for all small volumes of structured content, of course, if it is unstructured content, definitely without any other compromise, I go with Databricks only. But data is structured, if volume is small, perform ETL activity. If volume is very bigger, go with second model, ELT model. Okay. But here in Azure Data Engineer, you don't use all these terms like ELT or ETL like that. Simply ADF is a cloud ETL platform. Databricks is a big data processing system. Big data processing system with a Spark. But this is just for your clarity when to use why I need both products. Why I need both products. This is the answer. So simply I write here, recommended for small volumes. Recommended for small volumes. Small volumes of structured. Okay. So this Databricks recommended for big volumes of both structured and unstructured. All of you clear? Now let's stop our technical discussion. You please ask me the questions. So from my side for today, this is introduction to data engineer products and data engineering responsibilities. So once again, just in 2 minutes, you just verify what are all the products we have. Azure SQL, Data Lake Zen 2, our warehouse environment is Synapse. And finally, our ETL tool is here, Azure Data Factory. The NoSQL database in Azure is Cosmos DB. Okay. Very briefing about NoSQL database. Already some people attended my demo, initial demo. Please answer this. What is the importance of NoSQL? Even though we have SQL databases like RDBMS, why we need NoSQL?
Schemaless.
Schemaless, that's it. What is the importance of schemaless? Why we need schemaless? Schemaless means flexible, not no schema. Schemaless means not no schema. Okay, flexible schema, dynamic schema. Understood? Okay, why we need that feature? Because record to record different attributes will be there. Suppose you are running a business. Suppose you are selling products with online. Product to product structure is different. Understood, all of you? Product to product, a different structure can be existed. You're selling a book, the structure of a book is different. You're selling a TV, the structure of TV is different. You're selling a laptop, the attributes of laptop is different. But you need to maintain database of all existed products in our company. Okay. So in this case, generally in RDBMS, for all the books, you need to go for separate table. For all TV related things, you need to go for separate table. For all laptops, you need to go for separate table. Like this, imagine, Amazon has how many categories of the products? Maybe hundreds of categories, 750 categories of products. For each category, they need to create separate table in RDBMS. Okay, but application needs to interact with the 750 tables at a time means that is tough for the application. Automatically performance will be down. Understood? But with no schema databases, that means no SQL databases, all books, all TVs, all laptops, all other products you can keep into one single table. Understood? That too very much faster when compared with RDBMS for OLTP. But NoSQL databases are not recommended for batch processing, only recommended for OLTP, online transaction processing systems. You take, sir, we feel we talk so much great about the SQL databases, but you take Facebook organization. Okay, if I sign up, my sign up data will be stored in MongoDB. Immediately, my user ID and password will be tracked to key value database, which is called REAC. If I sign in, my user ID and password authentication will be done from other database called REAC. This is also NoSQL. Suppose I am adding you as a friend in Facebook. Okay, that means you are my first level friend. Again, you may have some 100 other friends. Those are second level friends for me. Friend to friend, there is a connection. That connection is called graph. They maintain their graphs. That means user connections. They are using sysgraph. Okay. Of course, there are even Neo4j also comes under this example. Neo4j, like this. Same thing in Facebook. Same thing in Facebook. You are doing some search, keyword search. Suppose if you say big data, if you say data engineer, all data engineer profiles it is showing. That kind of activity is done from. That means the basics of the search activity is running from columnar store databases. The columnar store databases like HBase or Cassandra, such kind of things. Where Facebook is using SQL? Nothing. Understood? So that's why this NoSQL is the future of the OLTP databases. My requirement is small, my organization is small, data volume is, for example, I say simply see the power of the sign-in process for the Facebook. Sir. In this moment for the Facebook, how many users are trying to sign in? Maybe trillion users are at a time trying to sign in. But even though we are not feeling any late kind of response feeling, how it is possible? Understand? Suppose if you hand over that responsibility for the RDBMS, really if there are trillions of users existed in the database, to identify, to catch a particular record, RDBMS will take a lot of time. If really that many number of users are interacting with database, means server might be hanged out. Understood? So that's why NoSQL is very important. Even Azure is supporting powerful NoSQL database, that is Azure Cosmos DB. So that is what our product here, NoSQL. And for big data processing and unstructured data processing, here we will be using Azure Databricks. That too, we can process it with very high speed. Hadoop environment in Azure, that is HDN sites. Okay, only one ecosystem you need to take care. Just in 1 hour, you can learn it about Hive, 1 to 2 hours. Because already if you know SQL, just 1 to 2 hours, you can learn it. So no problem when we start all these things from basics onwards, we will be coming. For streaming captures, Azure Streaming, this is the product. Entire this thing is the list of the products. But your responsibilities already I have listed. Please have a quick look on the responsibilities. As a beginner, ETL roles and handling huge storage of volumes and processing of that big data with high speed and processing with the different structures of data like unstructured, semi-structured, and structured. Already I gave you examples. And handling of streams. In ETL, how you are designing pipelines, same pipelines you need to create for streaming. Right? Okay.
So in our Azure Databricks, so after doing the transformation on the particular data frame,
yes.
Suppose we have.
Sir, voice cut down. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So my use case is that suppose we have a data frame.
Yes.
Like after ingesting it in our PySpark environment.
Okay.
We are doing certain kind of transformation. Okay.
Yes.
Suppose filtering.
Yes.
And aggregating, and after that we are writing it into a particular data warehouse environment.
Yes.
So is it convenient to do that in Azure Synapse or Azure Cosmos DB? Because for data analyst purpose, I think Synapse will be.
Synapse is best, but again, your two answers are correct. What you said is where I need to write. Okay.
Yes.
That means your question is like this: where should be the target?
Yeah. Or else ADL also will work. Like if.
Yes.
I mean.
Come on, where should be target? For this, two answers. One answer is Synapse. Okay. So when I will write into Synapses, if I want this data to be used by data analyst or data scientist, okay, or management team or business users. Okay. So let's talk in technical way. The visualization team or data analyst team wants to use the data right into Synapse. Our data scientist want to perform on the processed data. He wants to perform some, run some models, then write into Synapse. But your second answer is also correct. Where I need to write in Cosmos, that means NoSQL, is I want to make available of processed data to the end users of the OLTP, end users of the business. That means to make available of processed data to end users of the application or business. Understood, sir? What you said. Both answers are correct, depends on the use case. Same, come back to your Facebook example. Where is Facebook? Somewhere I have written about Facebook. Okay. Yeah, here. Sir, user connections will be processed by, we talk about user connections. If I add you as a friend, connection is created, the connection is stored in Neo4j. That means one of the NoSQL. Okay, finally, in the case of batch process, you can use Databricks. The Databricks will process, generate complete friends list. Friends list at each degree. Degree means level. First level, second level, third level, like this. Suppose, a small example, when I click on your profile, immediately Facebook is saying me like 400 common friends. Okay. When I click it, immediately Facebook is responding me that you and me are having 400 common friends. So this input the Facebook has taken from OLTP system or from the batch system. So try to answer me, Srinjit.
OLTP, no?
Yes, OLTP. But OLTP
because that is taken by the connection that Neo4j.
Actually, how many common friends are there? How many mutual friends are there? That report is generated in batch. The batch results are stored in OLTP. Directly from the stored result, Facebook is capturing and showing you. Even though trillions of users are working with Facebook, our performance is not getting down. Understand the point, sir? So in this way, again, come back to your question. Where you need to write the results after processing with ADF or Databricks, where you need to write the results means it depends on use case. You want to make available of your data for analysis purpose, go with Synapse. But to make available of processed data, to make available with the end users, go with Cosmos DB. Okay. But if results are directly structured data, you can go with even Azure SQL also. You can write into Azure SQL also. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Again, please check the responsibilities and ask me questions. Tomorrow onwards, I will start technical work, sir. We start with fundamentals basic work for first 3 to 4 days with the Azure platform. Okay. So then we come to the ADF. Let me check audience list. Monica, Parsuram, Preeti, Teja, you are not asking any questions.
So PySpark you will be covering from the starting or how?
In depth, sir. Don't worry about partiality here. Every topic will be in depth. If I talk about ADF, you will go ADF deeperly. If I talk about Databricks or Databricks with PySpark, again, PySpark means there are 4 components. Every component we will touch. Touch means we will end to end we will implement.
Okay.
Yeah. So that too, in Databricks, the Spark can be written with Scala and with R language and also with Java, with Python. The Python plus Spark is called PySpark. most of Azure data engineer projects are in PySpark, sir. That's why we will learn PySpark.
Right. In-depth knowledge about Hive as a developer is required, or like how it is, because there
Only
are
here.
certain
Yeah.
properties also.
Yeah, here how much is,
Settings.
especially in Hadoop Insights, that means HD Insights, there is an ecosystem called Hive. How much you require is, we have Spark SQL. Okay. In case of Databricks, with PySpark, you'll be working with the Spark SQL. With the Spark SQL, how to connect with the Hive table and extract and then process. This you should know. Okay. The basic architecture and basic components of Hive table. Once you have idea, then a complete a work of a Spark SQL you can manage. Okay.
Mhm.
So that I will teach completely, not complete Hive. Okay, how to connect with Hive, the Hive integrations, everything. Once the basic of Hive I explained, then I will come to complete Spark SQL.
Basically, the querying part of it.
Yes, only
Integration
querying.
and querying.
Querying. Yes. Because if I execute a query in Hive directly, what will happen? Again, that will be converted into MapReduce backend. Okay, but we don't want MapReduce. We want a Spark kind of execution style. That's why we will integrate Spark SQL with Hive table. And you guys, you don't worry about all these technical names like Hadoops, Hive. Okay, when we step into the topic, okay, from basic of architecture onwards, we will be explaining. Still any questions? Okay, sir. Tomorrow we'll all of you get ready with the Azure portal account. By the tomorrow class, please be ready with Azure portal. Simply say portal.azure.com and take a free account. Take a free account into this one. Okay. Then tomorrow onwards, I will start technical part and practical part implementation with along with the theory. Every day we will go with the theory. Okay. At the same time, for every theoretical concept is completed, and we go to the practical. Sir, someone is going to ask me.
Hello.
Venu. Venu, voice break out. Venu, your voice is breaking. Hello. Sir, anyone listen Venu voice? I am not getting.
Sure. Just one question. How about migration existing data warehouse to cloud
Yes, simply
using Databricks?
two things again. Simple data already existed on premises is simple. Go with ADF.
Okay.
Bulk volume.
Mhm.
Suppose already existed where 1 minute, sir. Venu is calling me. Just 1 minute. Please hold on the line.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, please.
No, not you, sir. 1 minute. Hello, sorry. Sir,
Yes.
once again, please repeat your question.
So
You're
my
asking about
existing-
migrating of existed warehouse to this Azure platform.
Right. So my source is EBS.
Hmm.
And EBS, we are getting data into Oracle Data Warehouse.
Okay.
So now I want to migrate that.
To Oracle, core Oracle or Oracle Exadata? Two things again, question.
Core Oracle.
If it is core means definitely small volume. Okay.
Mhm.
So if it is definitely small volume, you can proceed with ADF. Suppose you are for the warehouse, if they are using already existed warehouses in Oracle Exadata. Okay, then definitely ADF cannot handle that much of load. But ADF can do only what it can extract data and dump into some data lake or some target storage. Then you can use Databricks in the style of ELT. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Preeti,
Yes.
just now only Venu informed me that you wanted to speak.
Yeah.
So after completion of the session, can you please call me by 8:45? So you please call to Venu. Venu will keep me into the conference.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Are we going to cover any project like an explanation or something?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Without this, the climax is not good.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So definitely we'll take some use case. Okay. But don't expect in the project like hundreds of nodes of clusters like that.
No.
Okay. Sample cluster we will take and we will implement this.
Sure. Do we need any certification for this?
So if you have certification, that is very much advantageous, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
DP
it
200,
200 or
201.
300?
Pardon?
Okay. Is it AZ 200 and 300?
AZ 200, sir. 200 series. 200 to
200.
201. The 200 is going to retire. Okay. Maybe
Now associate
latest.
data engineer Azure has come up. Azure
Yeah.
data engineer associate. It's
Okay.
an amalgamation of the previous two.
So what is the number for that? 203 or?
I'm not sure about the number, but it combines the
Okay.
scenarios for both design and implementation.
I think Power BI is also added into that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Power BI is also
Power
for
BI is
reporting.
also added. Sir, if you are very much senior, please try to acquire the skill set of Power BI also. Just no need to join any course for the Power BI. You can do self-learning also. Once you have understood about all these things, because if Power BI is also added into your profile, complete your end-to-end, you are a full stack of data engineer.
Yes.
And one more question which I
Yes.
had like of my mind, like two questions I had, like so while migrating, there is one concept called as incremental load and
Yes, incremental
so
load.
so will that also be like shown like
Yes,
for
yes. If you verify the content, I have mentioned all the things. Okay. Yeah.
Can you kindly share that content like with
Yes. That is already with Venu. I have shared Venu, Mr. Venu. So you please send that content to our class people. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
All of you, once class completed, please ping to Venu and he will send.
Yesterday I was
Pardon?
and Preeti also.
Yeah, already I spoke to Preeti, and she will call by 8:45 like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
I hope all of you understood today concept, and tomorrow onwards we will start with basics and practical implementation, sir. All of you, before the class, all of you please create your Azure portal account. Okay. Yeah. Shall I close the session? Okay, Nagamonika, Parasuram, Srinjit.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm
Thank you.
closing this session, sir. Thank you very much. Tomorrow onwards we will start the classes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.